Hello everyone. I know I've been away for a long time, but I'm back. So if you are interested in seeing what comes out of an artist after she's gone underground for a whole entire month, it's this big giant pile of gel prints that were created on ugly gel prints, which I have many and I'm sure you do too. So it's been several hours I've been in here making gel prints, and if you want to watch me do that and here's some stories that I don't finish, which is my MO, start telling stories and don't finish, then that's what we're going to do. So hang out if you like. Nice to see you again. This is your old friend Cherie, who disappeared off the face of the earth about a month ago, and you haven't heard from me since, and I apologize for that. I have a long list of excuses. And most of them are valid, but the primary excuse is that I hit a wall of creative fear that I haven't run into in a very long time. And I was unable to even come in my studio without getting this sick feeling in my stomach. I don't know if other artists experience that kind of stuff, but apparently I do. So I apologize for bailing on you guys, and I actually have to apologize to myself because it's been an extraordinarily difficult month not creating because I was afraid, and I don't like that feeling. So my way back into art, because I've been doing all these very ambitious collages, which I really enjoy, but I think that's where my problem started, was I kept on trying to top my last episode, whatever. I'm going to go back to gel printing. So what I have underneath this pile of papers, I've got my 12 by 14 gel plate, my 8 by 10. What I did the other day with my friend Cindy, I have two, but this is my friend Cindy Rollins, is she came over, and I'm just going to, while I'm talking, I'm just going to flip through these. I made these papers, and I really enjoyed making them. They're very much the same until we get a little bit further down in the pile. But what I did was, these are just old photocopy papers. Some of them really need some love. Some of them I really enjoy, because I have an idea, an ambitious idea for a collage to cover up a piece of art that I tried to make recently that was just a fail, and I couldn't make myself go any further. But what I'd like to do is create a bunch of papers, because this is not enough to do what I want to do. What I have is, I've got a couple things. I have this. This is a pile of gel prints. It goes way back. I don't even know how long I've been collecting this pile of gel prints. But they're fails. Some of them are just junk paper. A lot of them are they're just fails. They're not anything I'm going to be able to use. Although, now that I say that, I do like that. Anyways, I'm going to see what I can do about turning this pile of papers into a pile that I like as well as this. Since sometimes it takes me an inspiration to get off the couch and start creating again, I want to show you this pillow that I made while my son Neil was still here, so it would have been 2010, maybe 11, possibly 12. And this is just a patchwork pillow using, when you go into a fabric store and they sell custom fabrics, they have little books of fabrics that, so you can order from them, using those little books. And I just cut them up and joined them and did cute things with them. And I was laying on the couch the other day looking at this thing, and I thought, I wasn't self-conscious when I was making this pillow. I was having a blast, and for that matter, I made 16 of them. And most of my friends have some version of this. So what I'm interested in doing, do I even want to commit to this? All right, I'm just going to show you, but I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I have this big giant canvas. It's a 24 by 36. It's not really, I can't really show it to you, that I was working on when I hit my wall. And it's been sitting there staring at me and taunting me for quite a long time, and I want to cover it up. I want to cover it up, seeing what I can do with these. So that's the plan. So I'm not sure of my colorway. I'm not sure of all kinds of things. I want to just say to you guys, if you've been doing any kind of gel printing for a while, you've got a pile like this of stuff that's, you know, maybe some of it's interesting and salvageable, but a lot of it is, you know, just not. So if you've got it, dig it out, and let's plan on covering things up. Okay, since I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting started, and I'd imagine sometimes you guys go through that as well, I'm going to start out with 3 pretty basic neutral colors and maybe add something to it if I feel like it. So for now, I've got unbleached titanium. It's just like a beige. I've got black, I've got white. I've got this pile of papers is all pretty much black and white or some version of black and white. And I have just a small pile of some favorite things that I like to print with. This is one of those sticky things for your rug, which makes a great pattern. This I ordered on Amazon, and I think it's to wrap. There's really no way to show it to you, is there? It's to wrap flowers in. Makes an interesting pattern. Got a couple of stencils. One that looks like a ginkgo leaf. Couple that look a little geometric. And I'll just start there because I have them. So since many of these things are dark black, I'm going to start out with neutral. If you are new to jelly printing, one of the challenges that you'll have to learn is how much paint, which I've been printing for a while now, and I'm still trying to learn how much paint. I don't really know. What am I going to use for a roll-off? Sure. Let's just start with that. Okay, so probably what I'll do, let me just lay this thing down. I'm going to be really not self-conscious about it. I'm going to use the sheet that I just took. One of the things that you'll find out if you do this often enough, and I've done a fair amount of it, is that the best prints have layers on them. So you don't want to be self-conscious about what you're getting. So that's interesting. There's still some paint left on this. Let's get it onto this really dark sheet. Get some of that up. I'm just using, just so you know, this is photocopy paper. I run a small co-op here in New Hampshire where I live, and I'm constantly wasting paper. So I like to print on it so it doesn't get wasted. Let me just get this last little bit of paint up here. You'll probably notice I'm not trying to do anything. I'm actually not thinking at all. And those papers that I made that I showed you at the beginning of the video, those were, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go with this for a couple of minutes. I'm going to use just a little bit less paint. So while I was missing in action, I got a lot of emails from you guys, a lot of comments and a lot of emails on my website. I'm not good at answering the ones on my website, guys, so if you ever want to hear from me, if you ever want to hear back from me, really the only way to do it is to leave a comment on a video, because I am more diligent about answering those, and sometimes my emails give me a lot of anxiety, so I might read your email, but I can't promise I'm going to respond to it. Okay, see this? This I like. I want to do that. I like that top and bottom thing. Let's see if you can do that without snapping those lids, Cherie. And by the way, Cherie, I'm talking to myself. As I talk to you, I talk to myself. If you leave your roller like that with paint dried on it, shit. All right, next time, I did not do I did not do what I was planning on doing at all. All right. Which is actually I'm kind of proud of myself, you know. I'm being a little bit more loose. How about, let's take this thing. This is one of my favorite textures. Sure, let's take this off with here. I'm just going to drop it and not have the white line around it. You can see I'm not really being very careful because I've got a whole bunch of papers that have white lines all the way around them. And I don't love that. What is this? That wants to be seen. Let's see. Let's try that again on this piece of paper right here. Just a couple of dots at the top. Couple at the bottom. Let's roll out the top first. For beginner gel printers, I am lifting my brayer up and down because if you just go round and round, it just turns into, it takes the paint off. You won't be able to spread it. All right, let's see what I've got. Let me just drop that right on there. How about if you'll notice that I don't have a very organized system for putting these stamps down on my table. They get buried underneath layers. Okay, this is going on. This has got a fair amount of paint, so I'm going to pull it off in a couple of sheets. I've got this group of kind of yellowy, blacky things. Let's try. These are sticking together. I recommend having a place a little further off camera where you can let these things dry so they don't do what I'm doing right now, which is stick together. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop my camera, set up a place to dry. Should have done that before. Okay, I don't know if this is going to be a good idea or a bad idea. This is raw sienna. I'm using Liquitex Basics. 12 by 14's coming out. No particular, I'll tell you why I want it. I want it because I can hold things, I can glue things down to it. I also use, if I can find them, these. These are containers from my yogurt. I just want to play around. I'm going to play around with a junky paintbrush, some paint, a squirt bottle to water these down. When I was playing with my friend Cindy the other day, this is what I was doing. I was playing with gel printing and brushes. And, all right, that's the first time I've laughed since I started this. That kind of makes me happy. That is an interesting combination. Let's see what happens with this guy. I'm going to try spraying the paper now. This is a total experiment. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but that's what I'm going for. These are, I have these, just so you guys know, I have all my supplies listed on my Amazon page, and I'm pretty sure that they are linked in every description. These are just empty bottles that I buy from Amazon. I put paint in them, and I add a little bit of water and a little bit of matte medium, which is just almost like paint thinner, but you can use it for glue as well. And I find them fun to work with because they're easy to squirt on the gel plate. That's going to want more. I don't want every single one of these to look exactly the same, but I want to get rid of this white in some sort of meaningful way. You can see I'm not being careful because, I don't know, because I don't want to. Now I'm noticing by rolling those out that I'm getting, I like the look, but it's going to, there's the sameness. There's this piece, which looks identical to that piece, which looks just like this piece. So I'm going to try something different. All right, starting to warm up a little bit, guys. Feeling a whole lot better about what I'm doing. A whole lot less guilt. So I'll tell you stuff. I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm the president of a small co-op in New Hampshire. It's a mobile home park. We call it manufactured homes. And because I sometimes want to be of service to everyone but myself, I raised my hand when they needed a new president and no one else would or could. And I did that without having any idea what a president actually does. And what I have found out, sorry for the snapping, is that the president does a lot. And if we had possibly a younger population here, we might be able to get people to volunteer more than they do. But it can be a lonely job. Now I've got a whole bunch of new board members. I have no idea what I'm doing here, guys, but I'm having fun. So we have a whole bunch, a handful of new board members, some of whom have served before. Stop rolling away. Where's my thing? I've got a thing, which I never bring out until I've made a mess of my whole place. Okay. So it's a lot of responsibility. And I also, like the rest of us, I have family responsibilities. My mom is 90. She's been recently diagnosed with advanced kidney disease. She's going to be 90 on October 8th. She's going to need more of us, more from her family than she's needed in the past. She's pretty independent. And I'm the oldest. And I live the closest. I have the fewer, other responsibilities. So I'm going to help my mom out in any way that I can, because I got to tell you, that girl put up with a lot with me. It was a huge pain in the ass, kid. Just like my son was with me. Where am I? Here. Just like my son was with me. Huge pain in the ass, but, you love them anyways. I like that. So I gave my mother a run for her money. I wore her out. And she loves me anyways. God bless her. She loves me anyways. So I take her to the doctors, and we're going to have a 90th birthday party for her. I don't know, sometime next week, I guess. And I volunteer to have it change my life because I love her dearly, and I want to make sure that the life that she has left, I love that, the life that she has left, I want to make sure it's meaningful. I want to make sure she's surrounded by us, people who love her. I'm going to put some black on that. This is not really gel printing that I'm doing here right now, guys, but you know what? It's something, and I am happy to be doing something because, you know, I started this channel thinking, well, I don't know what I was thinking. I started this channel thinking I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew I had a fair amount of emptiness in my life that wasn't serving me. So I raised my hand for all of the things. Let me become the president and start a YouTube channel and start a business on my website. Let me just do all of the things. So I have been feeling pretty bad for letting you guys down because I let myself down as well. I overcommitted, which is a thing that I do. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to roll this out, see what I get. So I may have to reevaluate my commitment to the channel and to you guys. And I have to tell you, you guys have, your encouragement and your support have been highly meaningful to me. I don't know that I'm going to get all choked up. You have, you've shown me a lot of kindness. And I appreciate that. You have encouraged my work and told me that I'm brave and, you know, that you love listening to me tell stories, and it's very meaningful to me. So when I could not make myself come in here and record for you, I was very disappointed in myself. And not only did I not give you what I said I was going to give you, I didn't even tell you what was going on. Because when I get overwhelmed, every single thing, it's just too much. So I did not even go online and tell you guys what was going on because it was too much. I didn't have it in me. I managed to get out of bed every day, because you can only sleep for so long. But it's been a very difficult month. A difficult month of feeling like I'd let you down. And a difficult month being afraid I wasn't going to be able to find my way back. Because one of the things that I have learned about myself, it's a little bit of a surprise, because I'm 70 now. I guess I thought that I had, I don't know, fought my demons, you know, battled my demons, and I did not know I was still a runner. I've been a runner all my life. And I did not know that was, this is too dry. I did not know that I was still battling those demons of when it gets too hot in the kitchen. You know how they say if it's too hot in the kitchen, get out of the kitchen? Yeah, I am highly skilled at getting out of the kitchen. And I think what started it all, I think we all have hidden fears that we think we've dealt with. What am I going to do with this? I thought I had dealt with the fact that I'm a runner through years of therapy. Haven't. What am I trying to do? I want to, let's do this. So I had and I don't do this in life that much. I had a falling out with a person on the board. I still don't really know what happened. I know I did something wrong. I don't know what it was. And when I realized how angry this person was at me, I could barely face the day. a little bit of it was shame for having hurt someone unintentionally. But I was on fire. It's going to need some love. I was on fire to get out of my neighborhood, sell my house, go live under a bridge, because I can tell you something. People don't typically choose to live in a mobile home if they can afford to live in a house on a foundation. Before you do this, Cherie, do you want to think about something? I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna do some stuff. Yeah, I was on fire to get out of here. I couldn't bear the thought of living somewhere where somebody thought I was a terrible person. I wanted out. I was on fire to get out of here. And my fellow board members were very concerned about me, and I don't know, just the way things are. All right, I'm going to just let that sit there. Am I going to roll that out? Here, I know what I'm going to do. I've got this roll-off sheet from the other day. Right there. That's what I'm going to do with it. I'll just take that right off there. That way it won't. I'll get some big blobs of paint on that, which will be fun. Yeah, so I am tender-hearted to a fault. I feel things. Ooh, that's pretty. I like it. I feel things very much. I'm not good at protecting myself from, I don't know, negativity, I guess. I'm not sure. Anyways, this is a lot of talk about who knows. Okay, so look what I've got here. So if you guys have a home store near you, this is newsprint. I buy it at Home Depot. It's 24 by 24. I think it comes in 70 sheets or something like that. And when all else fails, do that. Now I feel like I need to add something not quite so orange. I'm going to switch to yellow ochre on this. It's not a lot different, is it? Not different enough. All right, let's just get this off. I need something. You guys see a little palette knife? There you go, a little palette knife. Yeah, so that's not different enough to do anything with, but that's an interesting piece of paper. It is it's a little more subtle. Maybe I'll just keep playing with it on this and not mix it with another color. It's kind of a greenish, huh? Oh, it's because it's yellow ochre and black, and yellow ochre and black makes a fantastic color. Okay, so let's let that dry. Okay. All right, so this is, look at, that's the burnt sienna, that's the yellow ochre. They're happy together, and they're different enough. Can you see them on the camera? These are glue gun, I'll call them texture plates. Just fire up your glue gun, Amazon box, drizzle it on, make some really interesting little patterns. These are my favorites, these little dots. They leave great little patterns. This is a stamp I made from Useware Pottery, my business that was killed, I by the pandemic. I want to play with these now. What I want is I want black dots on some of this stuff. I don't want to roll that out too much because I want to I want to get paint on this and put it. I have nowhere to work. Hold on. Now let's try this. A lot of paint left on that. Let's see if there's enough paint on that too. That works. I would like to try this next. How that does. Ooh, I like it. It's what I had in mind. It's a little tighter. These were made with a polymer stamp machine, which took me years to learn how to use. And the swearing I would do every time I use this expensive material and it wouldn't come out. I was a foul-mouthed girl. So it's discontinued now, but I built my whole entire business around that polymer stamp machine. Okay, this is this is a big dark thing. What am I going to do with it? Let's figure it out. I'm going to dig out some newsprint. Right. Where's my newsprint? Oh, got so many drawers. I've got this antique file cabinet, guys, that has like, I don't know, 10 drawers on it. All right. There's a couple of big sheets, big enough to pull that off. But newsprint is delicate, and I've got some paint that has to be pulled off of this. So let's see if I can do it without making a big mess. Let's find out. This is not a very thick coat. I usually like to put a thicker coat on, but I can't let this, normally if you're trying to pull off a bunch of stuff, you don't want it to, you want to let it sit for a while, but newsprint can't handle it. So I'm going to pull off what I can. Let's see what we get here. We get a very dirty sheet. That's okay. We'll put something pretty on the dirt. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, okay, that's a dirty sheet, but that doesn't have to stay dirty. Let's do, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute. I'm going to go grab some, plant material, BRB. Look at what I have, guys. I live in a very wooded area. We have I'm pretty sure this is called sassafras. Look at these silly little dinosaur foot leaves. Let's see what we can do with these. Wish I had a little bit more because I've got a big plate out, but let's see what we can do with these little sassafras leaves. So, I usually like to use the sassafras leaves as a mask. So, oh, that's very watery. Let's find out. This is yellow ochre. What I want to do is just fill in some of this blank stuff. Yeah, you see how thin it is? I've really thinned it down, but I think it'll work for what I'm trying to do here. Watch. Let's get this. Let's get some color on the back of this sheet. People always ask about newsprint, not archival. Archival means, I don't know, designed to last forever, not break down with the test of time. I know it's not, and I just don't care. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me if it's archival or not. I'm just making art for fun. Someone did say, yeah, but you're making good art, and it deserves a good surface, and you know that may be true, but it's an obstacle for me. All right, that's kind of dull. Let me do something here. Let me see how I can get something on this to make that look more interesting. I don't know why I picked black. It was kind of an intuitive thing. How about if I do... This is a piece of IKEA cardboard. Okay, that's what we've got. Now, I'm going to, so that's what we've got, very dirty looking. Next is going to be, I'm going to do white. Why? I don't know, but I'm going to. And I'm going to do it kind of thick for otherwise that I don't know. I do like to tell you guys when I'm thinking something that I can share. I do like to tell it to you, but I'm a little rusty. I just want to do this. All right, let's do this. Let's take you sassafras leaves. Let's just see what happens. Okay, cute little dinosaur feet. Dirty ass piece of paper. Nice thing about newsprint is see how you can see the shape of the leaf. I don't know how well that shows on camera, but that means you can get most of the paint up and get a nice clean impression because you can actually see the leaf behind it. Well, that's interesting. Okay, that's what we've got. I don't know what's going to become of it, but I like it. Let me see what happens if I take these leaves off. Looky, guys. Look at this cute little pattern it's left behind, and if I can get that piece of paper on this before this dries too much. Let's take this and put that on here. That might be enough. I don't want the paper to stick. Okay, very, very subtle, which says to me, put on another layer. Let's go dark. I don't know why. A little bit of burnt sienna just because. Let's do this. Let's just mix it up. See if it gives us a... I'm just spinning this around. Try to get rid of those blobs more organically, like I found them on the ground. I have a couple more that would fill this in. I don't know where they are right now. Okay, here we go. This grayish thing going over. Well, that makes that more interesting. Let's see what we get. Well, that's kind of fun. See the little white nest behind it? I'm going to see if I can pull some more of this paint up. Let's see what happens. Hold on. Let's get these leaf veins on that same sheet since so little of it showed. Just sticking these off camera. Okay, let's do that. I'm starting to have fun, guys. Gel printing is less performance for me than collaging. I've gone through that pile of papers. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw them here so you guys can see what I did. They're not all dry. And I've got a piece of plywood propped up on the other side of my studio. So look at these. That's still pretty wet. These are, I think some of these are really yummy. That needs love. But they're very much the same. You know what? That's how I'm going to transition. Okay. All right. So that's what we've got. And then I just finished these sassafras. Sassafras? I don't know what the leaves are called, but they're cool. All right. So what I have next is a group of papers that run in the green and blue area. Got a couple of blacks that I'm going to keep going with the same colors that I have to see if, I don't know, to see what happens when you mix these green colors with, sure, burnt sienna, going with it. I'm going to stick with this big plate because it's fun. It doesn't really do anything. Let me just grab, let me do a Siri the Crafter thing where he calls it kissing the plate. This is more making out than kissing. Get these over there to dry with their friends. And let's see what happens to this thing, which couldn't be worse. So what about you, blue thing? I'm just going to pull up, get some dirt on here. These may not be as successful because these are colors that aren't necessarily happy together. I've got one sheet of newsprint out. Let me, hold on. Let me do something here. Let me do something. I want to do a thin coat of this. If I can add it to this. I don't know if you could did you even see that? Add it to that big sheet of newsprint. Let's see what happens. That's very muddy looking. How about you? Come here, you cute little textured thing. I just put it on a piece of paper over there, but it didn't care. Let's do this. Let's pull up a little bit of that color on here. Let's get some more of it on here. You know, these big sheets are wicked fun because you can't control them. All right, I got this. I'm going to put some beige on it. That's a lot of beige, sure-y. Brayer is under several rolls. All right, so I got some beige here. I'm going to pull it up on a clean sheet of newsprint, see what I get. You can tell I got scared of these because I promptly abandoned them. Oh, look at it. I nailed it. It's right on the plate with no overhang. All right, let's see what we get here. Okay, that's definitely still friends with that other group. That's kind of a soft little yellow. All right, let me just set that aside and let it dry so it's not so sticky. See, let me try to do something. Let me stick back to this idea of these blues and greens, even if it means I got to cover them up with beige. 93. That's the year my only child was born. My only missing in action child. All right, let's see. These are very vibrant. I like to cover those with masks. Let's see what we can do with this. Okay, that's not wrong. It's still there, but it's not scary there. I think what I'm going to do, because I don't know where this is going to go, I'm going to play with these blues and greens, but I'm not going to talk through it. I'm going to let my brother play guitar for you because I'm sure you haven't heard him in a long time. Yeah, let me go quiet on this and see see what happens. This is Liquitex Basics Fluids.
All right, this is a brand new song I just finished writing here. I'm going to try to get through it for you here. Here we go. Looked in the mirror, what did I see? Old man staring back at me with tired eyes. I remember when I was young, thought I could fly above the sun, watch me fly. The world is my oyster, it's laden with pearls, won't you fly? I've told some tall stories, I've sang my own songs. We're just looking for some place to belong, to get by. Short road before us, a long one behind. You're afraid to see what you might find, you won't shine. World is your oyster, all laden with pearls, won't you shine? I felt love and I'm blessed with friends. If I could do it all over again, I would try. Done some good things, but I've done some bad. Taking for granted all the good things I have with blind eyes. The world is my oyster, it's laden with pearls, watch me fly. Good Lord, how fast these years have passed. Pray many more before the last, before I die. Some memories get hazy, some fade away. Don't put off love if you can love today, go and fly. I'm sad I can't be what I used to be, but you'll be surprised with these old eyes see, that's why I fly. World is my oyster, it's laden with pearls, watch me fly. World is my oyster, all laden with pearls, watch me fly. All right, well there you go. That's a rough cut of the new one.
Okay guys, I'm tired. This has been a fun day, but I'm tired. So I'm going to clean up, and then I'm going to organize these papers, and then I'm going to come back and show you what I've done, and then we'll call it a day. Be right back. Okay, I've got a lot of papers here. I've been painting for hours. Okay, so let's just see what I've got here. So you saw what I did, and I used stamps. I didn't use stamps, I used stencils. I used this little, I need to tell you what this is. This is called a blending brush. It was originally designed for makeup, but a lot of artists use it for, I believe, alcohol inks. I usually have two, one for dark and one for light, but I was too lazy to dig out the other one. Okay, so what I started out with, these are all papers that were already in my stash that I thought were hopeless. Let's go over these big ones first. So I don't even know how many layers these have on them. I don't even know. But look at how yummy these are. They're very, very pretty. I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but I don't really care. This is that roll-off sheet I created the other day with my friend Cindy, and I added some more stuff onto it now. These are those leaves, and I just added a little bit of, you know, a little bit of texture. That's just to cover up my big gel plate. Okay, so those big sheets are fun. All right, let me get these out of the way. Now let's take a look at these small ones. So I don't, you know, it's hard to tell. This has got some blue paint on it, but so a lot of these will go back in, and a lot of them are fairly similar. This is my challenge as a gel printer. I don't really, yeah, that's definitely going back in. I don't really know how to, I'm still working on my layers, you know, trying to not make everything look exactly the same. But these have some very interesting textures in them. I'll go through all these blues and greens. These were actually, what's underneath this was created with those spray distress oxides from, I went overboard with that, from Tim Holtz. This I used as a roll-off sheet and something else, and now we're back into the ones that I created at the beginning. You can see I added a little bit of a, I will try to find the name of this stencil because I am highly partial to it, but I haven't been able to find it. I don't think it's available on Amazon, which is where I have my artist supplies. So if you see something that you see, like that ginkgo thing, I got that from Amazon. It's on my list. So these were painted both with the gel plate. They were also painted with paint brushes, which I have been really enjoying doing. I'm a frustrated painter. But look how dirty and yummy these are. This is a particular favorite. I really like the way that black with the beige and the orange on top of it. Now we get back to those sassafras leaves again. So these were, again, ugly papers that were in my stash, that needs love, that I covered up with a whole new layer of paint. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me to the end if you're still here, because sometimes gel printing can be repetitive. But it's really fun to see the variety that you can get. And I've had people say, oh, how did you make that? The answer is no idea. I have no idea how I made these things. No, you just keep going until you decide you're done, and sometimes you're never done. Anyways, my name is Cherie Burlington. I'm an artist, an errant, an angel mom, and thank you for joining me on my first video back since my long hiatus of wow, poor me. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out. See ya.